Right, good evening guys, welcome to our Springbok News Conference. We've got Captain Siya Kolisi, Coach Rassie Erasmus. We've got 15 minutes in Wales to come in, so please one question at a time so we can give as many people an opportunity. Hands up for questions.
Rassie, 78 minutes, 73-0 up, and your guys are fighting to win a turnover to end the game like that. Doesn't that just define this team?
No, we're very proud of the way we played. We never underestimate Wales ever, no matter where they are in the rankings and what's going on in their team. We just know how the Welsh people are. But I think Asenati actually got that last turnover, if I'm correct, and we're so glad for guys like Asenati and Zach, and a few guys who haven't really played for us in a while. Grobby's getting proper start. So I think the hunger of guys who doesn't get always opportunity also showed today, and it was important for us to fight all day.
Rassie, looking into the new year, there's been a lot of youngsters that haven't quite got the opportunity yet. Planning ahead, what's your thoughts about giving those youngsters more game time, along with keeping the stability of the experience?
Yeah, I can probably disagree with you in a bit, if you don't mind. I mean, Zach is pretty young. Grobby is 27. Asenati is under 30. Ruan is 27. Cameron Hanekom was injured. Elrich was injured. Krappis is a guy that's 26, 25. Sasha is 22. Kainen is 22. Ethan is 23. And also Damien Willemse is 27. So I think we've given a lot of guys chance, but obviously guys, as I said, like Cameron, Johan Roos, there's Flo Pepsi, there's Pete from under 20s, there's Badu, there's Teswell, there's the Hookers from under 20s, there's so, it's going to sound weird, but I know the Autumn Nations Cup is like a mini World Cup for tier 1 nations next year. But this year for us, ending top of the table was pretty important. We never look at the world rankings, but this year we don't know if it will be beneficial when the draw comes out this week. We're not sure what will happen. But next year with greatest rivalry and all that, I'm not so sure if we'll put so much emphasis on that Autumn Nations Cup, because I believe 18 months out from a World Cup, that's when you really start knowing your World Cup squad are. So next year I think we'll be, even though we only play really good strength teams the whole year, I think we'll try and get more caps into guys.
Rassie, you played in the 96-13 game back in 98. Would you say today was more one-sided, or was that more one-sided?
I think the thing that we did really well, in those days we didn't have a hell of a game plan, and when I was playing that game it was more individual guys that just maybe click on a day, but I felt we've been building up, and I thought really today was a controlled performance, because the Welsh are not guys who just roll over and take the shots. They fight till the end. So for me personally, I'm probably going to look at the tape, but for me it was probably one of the really clinical performances, and us putting our soul out on the game and not trying to stop our other team's soul, because I think the Welsh are in between what they really want to do. They've got a great coach and they will come right. But I think this was a really good controlled performance. And we know we can change in one game. So that 98 game, we beat them 4, and then we lost the 99 twice against them. So things changed. I thought it was a proper performance.
Alex?
Hey Rassie, can I just get your take on what happened at the end and with ETZEBETH getting sent off?
Yeah, well, I don't know what I can say now that won't be controversial. I mean, it didn't look good. I think justified the red card. How it happened and why it happened, and if it was, that's the right word, provoked, I'm not sure. But that's definitely not the way we would have liked to end the game, I don't know, the optics was great.
Rassie, we can talk about a lot of records, but I know your team don't chase records. What would you say to the Welsh players tonight?
Just things change really quickly sometimes. Again, I want to take you to 98. What was the score, sir?
96-13.
96-13. And then that was 98. And 99, I played here at the stadium, the opening, we lost. And we lost later in that year as well. So a year in rugby is a very short time. I just think if you look at the players who Welsh lost in one patch, you know, the Davies, the bigger, you know, there's so many guys that I coached against in the URC, and there's a big bulk, Liam Williams, you know, Rhys Hammond didn't play today. There's a bunch of guys with a lot of experience, and Alvin and those guys who understand the Welsh psyche and what they stand for. And when you lose like 15 guys, not for one game, but just all of a sudden out of the mix, it takes a bit of time to recover. So I think eventually somewhere they'll be back.
Question for Siya. I just wanted to know what it's like being at the pinnacle of the sport for South African rugby and the same as South African cricket, because you're the leader for rugby, and Temba Bavumba's been amazing for cricket as well. How important is it to see the growth of South African sport from both the rugby side and the cricket side, having you and Temba as the leaders of the team's perspective?
Well, I think, first of all, like for me, in the leadership role, I think I am nothing without the other leaders around me. I've got so many guys we have a lot of guys who've captained the team, and when I go on the field, I don't have to worry about a lot of things because there's so many leaders in the game. The way that Coach Rassie created the structure for the team, he actually, every single person is a leader in their own right. And I'm just, able to just go in there and play the game. But I think stuff off the field and feeling the team's energy, I think that's really one of the things that I focus on. And I think for Temba too, he will tell you there's so many people that help him in the game. You don't do it alone. And I'm obviously proud of him. And it's amazing what he's done. And I think for so many years, as the cricket struggled to win something and they finally did it, I'm hoping that it continues for them. And I know the Coach Rassie and their coach, Matt and Spoke, and we draw energy from each other. Bafana are doing very well as well. The women's Proteas have reached 2 finals in a row, so there's so much happening. And then our women's team as well, they for the first time, they played in the quarterfinal of the World Cup. So there's so much growth that's happening in our country, in our sport. And we know, like Coach Rassie speak to us, we think of everything else that doesn't go right, but we can also focus on the things that do go right. So the privilege that's on our shoulders to be able to play as hard as we can, work as hard as we can to make sure that there's something for people to smile about in our country, and also for people who are sitting in hopeless situations. When they look at us, we come from those situations as well. They know that it's possible, and that's what drives us each and every single day. We don't have new motives each week. Our purpose is constantly the same. It's for our people back home.
Rassie,